Greece is one of the best countries for island hopping. There are about 6,000 islands in Greece, out of which 170 are inhabited, and there's a lot to see here. I spent a month in Greece this summer visiting 4 different islands. And in this video, I will share with you everything you need to know about island hopping in Greece, all the tips and tricks that will help you to have the best possible experience traveling Greece, and hopefully help you avoid making some of the mistakes that I did along the way. Because I would totally make it with the bus, but well, you live and you learn. Yo guys, what is up? I hope you're all doing great. Today is my first day of proper Greek island hopping experience. I am leaving Santorini today and I'm going to Paris. I'm taking the ferry to Paris. It's gonna take 4 hours, and I thought it would be really interesting to show you what is it like to do island hopping trip here in Greece. Obviously, Greece is popular for its many islands. There's so many beautiful islands in this country. On this trip, I will be doing 5 locations in total. Out of these 5 locations, 4 are islands. Santorini was my second destination. I was in Corfu, then I came here, and now, yeah, I'm going to Paris, as I said. And then later, I'm also going to Mykonos. And I just really wanted to start this video here because this view, I mean, people pay a lot of money to have a view like this. The first mistake I did was getting my ferry ticket without checking the bus schedule, which meant that I was forced to take a taxi. Okay, so I wanted to take the bus to the port because taxis are really expensive here in Santorini. I think the taxi, even though it's like 8 kilometers, the taxi is probably gonna be more than the ferry itself. But it turned out that there's only one bus every 2 hours, so it doesn't like really, you know, match with my ferry. Taking a taxi in Greece to the ferry terminal can cost you more than the ferry ticket itself. Taxis in Greece, especially on the islands, are quite expensive. So if you're traveling on a budget and you want to take the bus to the port, make sure you check the bus schedule in advance because the buses don't necessarily go as frequently as you would think. I wanted the taxi driver to come and pick me up at my hotel in like 40 minutes. My hotel is like literally 300 meters down the road. But I just have luggage, so I don't want to carry it if I'm paying for a taxi. But he didn't want to. That's also the thing with taxi drivers. Sometimes they're just not always the nicest people. Obviously that is a big exaggeration, but I do feel like most of the time when you have issues with someone somewhere when you're traveling, it's gonna be taxi drivers.
Too busy town, very busy town. Bangkok.
Yeah, Bangkok is super busy compared to Santorini also.
Yeah. The CJ office is...
So I made it to the port and now I have to figure out what to do. I already have a ticket. I will explain to you in a sec how it works. So as you can see, there are tons of restaurants. There are a lot of like car rental places, and this is a human waiting place where humans wait for the boats. First of all, I would like to say I'm sorry to all taxi drivers of Santorini, because the taxi driver that ended up taking me was actually a very nice person, and I had a very lovely little conversation with him. So I take back what I said about all taxi drivers not necessarily being friendly. Taxi drivers are just like people. Some of them are friendly, some of them are not. Anyways, I got my ferry ticket from Santorini to Paros the day before at a tourist office in Fira. But some ferry companies do have their own website, so you can purchase tickets online. Often you will be able to choose between fast ferries that are more expensive and the slower ones that are more affordable. I went for the slow ferry because it was basically half price, and most important of all, I tend to get quite seasick, so I thought it would be more comfortable for me, and I did have time. And also, if you're traveling during high season, make sure to get your tickets at least a couple of days before, because during the busy months of July and August, they can get sold out pretty quickly. Another thing that you have to remember is that the whole trip, your travel day, will often take longer than you might expect. It is 11 a.m. right now, and my ferry goes at 12, but I was told that I have to be at the port at least 1 hour before. I was also told that it's like a big port and, you know, oh, you have to be here. But to be honest, like I could probably just arrive like 5 minutes before and I would be fine as well. But I mean, you don't really do that, right? When they tell you be there 1 hour before, you're not just gonna arrive 5 minutes before. Now it looks like I'm just, you know, gonna do nothing here for an hour. That's traveling, right? I guess that's how it always is. It's the same thing with airports. You always think about the time that it takes to fly to your destination, but the reality is that the whole travel time is usually so much longer. So since I have like 1 hour to kill, the only thing I can entertain myself with is trying to take a good thumbnail. But then I was just told off by this policeman that taking thumbnails in the port is not what you do, and he told me to go back to human waiting space. I'm still gonna try to get a good thumbnail anyways. Also, I could have totally taken the bus and not spent 25 euro on the taxi, because I would totally make it with the bus, but well, you live and you learn. I still have 40 minutes to go and I am very tempted to get something to eat. So I haven't eaten today, and no, it's not like I forgot to eat. I'm not the type of person that forgets to eat. I intentionally didn't eat because the thing is that I just know I cannot eat before the ferry. I get super seasick. I get also super car sick. I get everything sick beside plane sick. So planes are the only safe transportation for me. Last time when I took the ferry from Albania, from Saranda in Albania to Corfu, I thought I would die. Like I'm not exaggerating. I didn't even vlog this, so you can you know, that's how serious the situation was. It was so serious that I didn't even think about vlogging myself dying. So I was like, literally, I took my backpack and put it on the ground, and then I was just lying on my backpack on the ground. So the ferry has just arrived and they basically put us in a huge line here, and we've been standing in a line for the past 20 minutes, or I've been squatting in this line. I'm in the front of the line. So the ferry looks big, which I don't know anything about boats, so I don't really know if it's good or not, but I'm hoping that because it's big, it doesn't like wave, what's the name, it doesn't, you know, it doesn't move that much, whatever, like that I'm not gonna get that seasick. So it turned out that I had nothing to worry about, because this was probably the best ferry experience of my life. So you have to leave your luggage here. If you have any valuable belongings, it's always better to have a backpack as well that you can take upstairs. The ferry was modern and clean. There was even a shop where you could buy snacks. The seats were very comfortable, and since I was traveling out of the season, I had a lot of space for myself. So I basically spent majority of the journey just chilling and watching Drew Binsky's vlogs, and I did not get seasick at all. So it turns out that I was really freaking out about this ferry for no reason. It's really so much better than the ferry that I took from Albania to Corfu. It's modern, the seats are very comfortable. They're like better than plane seats. I also went up on the deck to look at Santorini one last time. It was super windy, but also super beautiful. But I guess Greece is just such a beautiful place. I have traveled quite a lot by ferries in Asia, and a big plus for me was that here in Greece, they didn't decide to turn the ferry into a fridge, which basically happens a lot, especially in Southeast Asia. So I've learned to always bring a lot of warm clothes with me for ferry rides, but here it definitely wasn't necessary. AC was just pleasant, but not too cold. So I also changed my strategy about not eating the whole way, because honestly that was not a good game plan. And I bought myself some pastry in the port. Of course, not all ferries in Greece are equally big and modern, but there is a lot of traffic between the Greek islands, since it's not only a means of transportation for tourists but also for locals. So there is a high chance that if you're traveling between the more popular destinations, you will be able to choose between a couple of different ferry companies and pick the standard that you prefer. Later, when I was traveling from Paros to Mykonos, I decided to take the most expensive ferry, which was also the fastest. The journey from Paros to Mykonos took only 1 hour. I wanted to see what was the difference between the cheaper and the more expensive ferries. And to be honest, beside the time, there wasn't that much difference at all. If you're planning to travel Greece, I can very highly recommend you to try the ferries. I was honestly shocked by how comfortable they were. Made it to Paros. I'm very excited. Now I have to figure out how to get to my hotel. It is quite far. It's about 30 kilometers. It's on the other side of the island. And the reason why I chose this place is because there is a beach there, and it was supposed to be sort of my beach slash pool part of this holiday.
To go a little bit before the COVID, but COVID destroyed our plans.
Yeah, I guess COVID destroyed a lot of plans. I have made it to the hotel where I'll be staying for the first 3 days here in Paris. It's kind of like in the middle of nowhere, but I will show you why I chose it. I chose this, wait, because of this view. If you want to have a sea view, you kind of, you have to sacrifice. Apparently there is not even like a shop nearby. Like you have to walk for 20 minutes or something, which is not ideal, but I mean, I kind of wanted to have a sea view. That was definitely not an option for me in Santorini. So I actually did not end up staying there for 3 days. The next day I woke up and I made the decision to leave that place and check out. And I decided to go to the northern part of the island to a town called Nausa. On the way here, the taxi driver told me that apparently there was a dude here nearby who used to have a couple of rabbits, and then one of the rabbits got sick, so he just decided to let them all out in the wild. Well, not a great thing, I guess, if you have a sick animal. Anyways, what happened is that the rabbits began to breed, and now there are apparently like hundreds of rabbits in this area. The reason why I decided to leave was mainly the hotel. It was quite run down and really not worth the money. One of the reasons why I booked it in the first place was their gym, and when I arrived it turned out that the gym was closed, and they blame it on the pandemic and told me that, I quote, the Greek government doesn't allow gyms to be open, which is not true. I knew that gyms could be open in Greece, but of course hotels need to take necessary safety measures and clean them a lot, and I guess that place just didn't want to do that. So I wanted peace and quiet for some reason, and I've got peace and quiet because there's like literally no one here. Since I left my hotel, I met exactly 3 people and not one single car. So I feel like in this place, I can even like put my camera in the middle of the freaking road. And I also realized that this whole remote middle of nowhere vibe was not for me. There was absolutely nothing in this area, which I guess is of course my own fault for not doing enough research, but that happens sometimes. And it honestly wouldn't matter. I can also just yell because there's no one here anyway. So. The only available restaurant in that area was the hotel restaurant. So that's where I went this evening, and I had the worst meal I had during this whole month in Greece in that restaurant. And when that happened, I was like, okay, I'm leaving. Trust me, like food in Greece is so good. I went to so many super affordable places, and basically wherever you go, food is really good. So when the food is bad, it's a really bad sign. But anyways, leaving that place turned out to be the best decision ever, because the place that I went to was probably one of the most beautiful places I've ever been to in my life. And I know that my experience in Paris would have been so much worse if I didn't, change hotels, and if I didn't go to the northern part of the island. The hotel I ended up switching to was really nice, and I had a really good time there. Paris was yet another proof to me that if you come to a place, if you come to a hotel, and you don't feel good about it from the very beginning, the best option is always to try to leave if you can. And I can even say that if I would have to pick my favorite Greek island, it would probably be Paros. So I'm super excited to show you Paris in my next vlog. See you soon.